Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the live stream. I'm getting on a bit early because I'm having internet issues here. And if I just somehow drop out, it will be because I lost internet connection. So if you guys just suddenly see me disappear, welcome, Bruno and Juan. Nice to see you guys today. Hope you guys are having a good day. Gonna wait and see if there's a few more people that join the stream, and then we'll get started. Hello, Morgan. Nice to see you tonight. Hope you're doing well. What's up, Sarah? Sarah? Nice to see you as well. Hopefully everyone is doing well tonight. Saying that there's 5 of you in the chat. Trying to wait to see if there's a few more people that want to join. Hello, Barb. Nice to see you as well. Good evening and good day to you. So anyways, we're going to talk about these fires in Maui. And the thing about this is, the first thing I need to say here is the fact that let's talk about the mythology of Maui, Hawaii, or Hawaii mythology. And as you guys can already see right here on the screen, there is a mythology in Hawaiian mythology that tells the tale of Maui bringing fire to the world. So what a perfect place for a huge fire ritual in Maui, Hawaii. So let's read through this this mythology, and let's just use our critical thinking skills here and try to imagine how it's possible that Maui, Hawaii is a big story now about a fire, and the mythology of Maui is all about fire. So anyways, Maui, the god Maui in Hawaiian mythology, wanted to know where fire came from. So one night he went to the villages of his people and put all the fires out. Maui's mother, Taranga, who was there, I can't read all these names, guys, said that someone would have to ask the goddess of fire for more fire. So Maui offered to go and find her. She lived in a cave in a burning mountain at the end of the earth. She gave Maui a burning fingernail to relight the fires, but Maui extinguished the fingernails, and so this fire god became angry. And in return, this fire goddess sent fire to pursue Maui. Okay, do you guys understand the symbolism here? What a ritual that this fire goddess in the Hawaiian mythology sends fire on Maui because he keeps putting out the fires. And what ends up happening is Maui calls upon the Hawaiian god of storms, to help put out the fire, which saves his life. So again, guys, I want you to consider what's the chances that there's a mythology all based around Maui and fire. Now, this is running kind of parallel to the story of Prometheus, who steals fire from the gods, right? And this Maui thing in Hawaiian, this is the story they tell us of how they created fire in the mythologies, So again, guys, what's the chances that this mythology lines up perfectly with this ritual that we're just experiencing? It's perfect synchronized. Now, what's interesting here is that the death of Maui. Now, in the mythologies, Maui is a trickster god. He's the Polynesian trickster god, which kind of reminds me of Loki or Mercury. And, being that he's the trickster god, eventually, if you go down to the bottom here, it says the death of Maui. And his last trick, which was led to his death, involved another goddess. In his attempt to make mankind immortal, he changed into a worm, and Maui entered into this goddess's I'm not going to say it, but you guys can read. And intending to leave through her mouth while she slept, but Maui was crushed by the obsidian teeth in her. So what a story, right? What a story about this Maui character in the mythologies once again. But I'm going to tie this into the birth ritual because, again, if you guys don't know, Rihanna just gave birth to her second baby. And this is all tied to the goddess ritual, which, what did I just show you here? That Maui was crushed by the teeth in her vagina. Let's just say that. So this again reminds me of a feminine birth ritual. Now, we just had Rihanna give birth to her second child. And what's interesting is, if you scroll down here, it says that on August 9th, they released the news that they had just gotten their baby girl. You see, it's a girl. Notice how they start this article saying the queen has given birth. What a way to start an article. So the queen gives birth. Now, the Rihanna posted this on August 9th, but they haven't actually said the exact date that the birth of this baby girl has happened. All we know is that they released the news on August 9th. But my guess is that the baby was born on August 8th, the day before, which was the same day that the fires also started. And I'm going to get into why I believe that 8/8 would be the perfect day for Rihanna to give birth to this baby girl. Now, there's a connection here to the Queen Elizabeth, who died last year. And in Gematria, Elizabeth equals 88, okay? And the fires in Maui started on 8/8. And Rihanna is referred to in this article as the queen who has given birth to a baby girl. And the other thing we need to remember, guys, is that Rihanna was at the Super Bowl, okay? And she performed at the Super Bowl and revealed that she was pregnant at the Super Bowl on February 12th. She performed, and then everyone noticed that she had a baby belly, and they realized that she was pregnant with her second child. Her first child, which is a boy, goes by the name of R.Z. Athelson, and he was born on May 13th. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Now I'm going to bring up this movie called Firestarter. Now, this book was written in 1980 by Stephen King called Firestarter. And the original movie was released in 1984. Here's the original movie. The original movie was starring Drew Barrymore, and it was released on May 11th, 1984. The book was released by Stephen King in 1980. However, they did a remake of this movie on May 13th, 2022. Now, do you guys remember what I just showed you? When was Rihanna's first baby boy born? He was born on May 13th, 2022. So Rihanna's baby boy, her first child, was born the same day that Firestarter came out, May 13th. I'll bring up the remake. This is the remake. Came out on May 13th, the same exact day that Rihanna had her first baby. And now, on the day of the Maui fires, either 8/8 or 8/9, her second child is born. This is an impossible coincidence, guys. Her first child's born on the Firestarter movie, and her second child is born at the same time the Maui fires are starting. Okay? So if we go back to May 13th, 2022, the day that the first child was born and the day of the Firestarter movie, and I just want you guys to notice that the Firestarter movie, the main character is a little girl, kind of like Rihanna just had a little girl. In the movie, the little girl has powers of cryokinesis, which means she can create fire with telekinesis, with her mind. And in the movie, she is pursued by this agency, this government agency called the Department of Scientific Intelligence. This is a branch of the CIA. And in fact, if you look into this, this was a department of this CIA in 1963 before it was incorporated into the science and technology sector. So in this movie, this girl is pursued by this CIA essentially as a weapon, okay? So this girl in the movie is a weapon because her powers to create fire and to burn the world up, essentially. Basically, she could cause the whole world to burn, and so they want to harness her power for their own benefit in the movie. So think about this, guys. We have these weapons called directed energy weapons, which a lot of people on the conspiracy internet, on the truth seeker internet, are pointing to the fact that this has to be probably some sort of directed energy weapon, which is called dews, kind of like Mountain Dew. I'll get to that in a minute. But I just want to run a parallel here with directed energy weapons and the little girl in the Firestarter movie who is used as a weapon. Her name is Charlie McGee in the movie. And she's used as a weapon to create fires, which in my mind represents their use of directed energy weapons, which I believe is what they used in this Maui fire. Because if you look, there's some interesting things. Some trees didn't burn. It's almost like I don't know exactly how they do this stuff, people, but all I know is that these things are real. These are something that's actually being used. In fact, it even says that Russia is using these supposedly against Ukraine at some point. But these things are real. And if they're using them to do these things, then these are what we need to pay attention to in this ritual. Now, let's do a measurement, because I told you that Rihanna's baby was born, her first baby was born on the same day that the Firestarter movie came out, May 13th, 2022. Okay, so Rihanna's boy born on May 13th, 2022. The Firestarter movie also released the same day. If we go from the release of Firestarter to the start of the Maui fires, it's 64 weeks. And I'm going to talk about this 64 first, okay? So let's go over Gematria. And let's type in the number 64, and let's analyze how this is perfectly scripted with this number 64. So I just told you it was 64 weeks after Charlie McGee, the girl in the Firestarter movie who has the power to cause fires. It's 64 weeks after the movie released. Maui, Hawaii is on fire. Now, I want you guys to look at this here. The main character, the girl who starts fires in the movie, 64 weeks after her movie release, her name equals 64, and Maui equals 64. I also want you to notice that the word kill equals 64. And remember, if you go back to the mythologies, the goddess of Hawaiian mythology is Mahuika. I don't even know how to say that. But anyways, her name also equals 64. What are the chances that Charlie McGee in the Firestarter movie also matches the Hawaiian goddess of fire and also matches Maui? And remember, guys, 64 weeks after Firestarter came out, these fires started. Okay. So what a perfect 64 ritual, 64 weeks after the 64 movie. Okay. Which also ties to Maui because Maui equals 64. So here's where it gets really crazy. Not only is it 64 weeks from Firestarter to the beginning of the Maui fires, it's also 452 days. And what makes this number so interesting is that I'm making the measurement from the movie Firestarter to the Maui fires, 452 days. Now, what does the word Firestarter equal in one of the prime ciphers? Look at that, guys. Firestarter equals 452, and 452 days after Firestarter movie, the fires start in Hawaii. Okay, I want you to ask yourselves, what are the chances of that? This 452 number is not a number that can come up very easily. 452 after Firestarter, and Firestarter equals 452. Okay. And I already showed you the 64 weeks, which was tied to the Maui ritual, right? So that's the first big connection, guys, to this movie. But the other big connection is with Rihanna. So Rihanna's son's name was born on the same day the Firestarter movie came out. His name is RZA Athelson. And I don't know what kind of name that is, but it's definitely not a normal name. But what happens if we take his name to Gematria and we look and see what it equals? So if we go back to Gematria and we type in RZA Athelson, this is the numbers you're going to get, okay? So I want you guys to really pay attention to this because I told you that Rihanna's baby boy, born on the same day Firestarter came out, his name is RZA Athelson, and his name is a direct match to Firestarter in two ciphers, 139, 158. He was born supposedly the same day the movie came out, Firestarter. Again, I told you that Rihanna supposedly had her other baby in the same time of the Maui fires. So both of her babies are tied to fires. The first one being born on the same day the movie released, and the second one being born during the Maui fires. Now, something I didn't put here is that Freemasonry also equals the same as the son of Rihanna, RZA Athelson, okay, and also equals Firestarter. Now, the other word I want you guys to focus on here is Mountain Dew. Now, why is this tied to Firestarter? Why is this tied? Well, first of all, guys, let me bring this up because this is absolute mockery. Mountain Dew has a drink called Mountain Dew Maui Burst. Kind of like Mountain Dew Maui Burst into Flames. And what does the word DEW stand for? DEW stands for Directed Energy Weapon. Okay? Directed Energy Weapon is DEW. And Mountain Dew has a Maui Burst flavor. Do you see the impossibility of this? Sorry, guys, my computer is not working right now. So give me a minute, let my computer reload. I'll jump into the chat for a minute. Yeah, Jessica Lynn, in the chat, I'm going to show you that. I already had that up, that Mountain Dew equals Freemasonry. But what also Mountain Dew equals is Firestarter, which is the name of the movie that has the weapon, the girl who's the weapon who causes fires. She represents the directed energy weapons. And remember, if you didn't catch the beginning of this, I just told you guys that Rihanna's baby boy was born the same day the Firestarter movie came out. And his name also what I want you guys to focus on here is the 139s. I want you guys to see that all these words have multiple cipher matches, but I want you guys to just focus on the 139. Okay. So notice that Freemasonry equals 139. Mountain Dew equals 139. The movie Firestarter, okay, that came out on May 13th, 2022 equals 139. Okay. And the baby boy of Rihanna, who was born the same day the movie came out, equals 139. And look at this, guys. MAUI in the prime cipher also equals 139. What are the chances of this? Okay, what are the chances of all of this lining up so perfectly and Rihanna's babies are born in connection to fires? Okay? And Mountain Dew has the dew, and that is the directed energy weapon. And this goes even deeper, guys, into the government agencies, right? But again, I told you in the Firestarter movie, it's the CIA government agency that wants to capture this girl to use her as a weapon. And what are the chances that the name of the movie matches Mountain Dew and Freemasonry, and the name of Rihanna's boy and MAUI all equal 139? And so anyways, guys, I already showed you that Firestarter equals 452, and 452 days after Firestarter comes out, the fires start in MAUI. Okay, so that's a big thing. But now let's move to another date measurement here. So the guy who wrote the book, the original book called Firestarter, you guys probably know who this is. His name is Stephen King. And I'm sorry, but I think Stephen King looks like an alien, to be honest with you. Kind of like a similar look to Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates. But I mean, look at his face, guys. I mean, I feel like he looks like an alien to me. But anyways, Stephen King was born on September 21st. Okay. And he's the one who wrote the book Firestarter, which is the movie that I'm comparing this to. And from his last birthday on 9/21 last year to the date of the fires starting, 8/8, is 322 days. Now, I'm sure you guys know what this number is, but let me just pull it up. So 322 days after Stephen King's birthday, and this ties to the Skull and Bones, order 322, okay? Of course, you guys know the Skull and Crossbones, order 322. George Bush was a member. But what are the chances that these fires start 322 days after the author, Stephen King, who wrote Firestarter, okay, and they start on 8/8, which was the Lionsgate portal. You guys remember I made a video about this date before this date came, and look how many events we had on 8/8 and 8/9, okay? We had the fires on 8/8 and 8/9. We had Biden being threatened. We had the assassination of the presidential candidate in Ecuador. All this stuff happened on these 2 days. And that's why I was seeing so many connections before these days even came. Anyways, 322 days after Stephen King's birthday, the man who wrote Firestarter. And again, this is all tied to Skull and Bones. Okay. But it also ties back to Freemasonry, as I showed you before, because Freemasonry equals 139, like Firestarter, like Rihanna's baby, like MAUI, and like Mountain Dew. And the Mountain Dew is the directed energy weapon. Okay. That's what they call them. They literally call them Dew. Mountain Dew, guys. Directed energy weapon. So let's have a look. So we just checked out the writer of Firestarter, Stephen King, right after his birthday. But also this ties to Rihanna, because Rihanna was at the Super Bowl on the 322 days left in the year this year. And this is where she unveiled her new pregnancy with the new baby girl that was just born during the fires. So she unveils this pregnancy at the Super Bowl, the day leaving 322 days left in the year. And I just showed you that these fires happened 322 days after Stephen King's birthday. But I want you guys to notice something. It was 177 days after Rihanna's Super Bowl performance that the fire started. And this was also the day I believe her child was born. Her girl, baby girl, was born on this day on 8/8, okay? And it was 170 days after Rihanna performed to her child's birth and the fire starters. It's at least what I believe. And why is the 177 important? Well, because in Gematria, childbirth equals 177. So again, 177 days after Rihanna's Super Bowl appearance on the 322 days remaining, and 177 days later is her child's birth and the fire starting, and childbirth equals 170. In Gematria, words like birth equal 57, childbirth 57, birth ritual 57, mother of Jesus 57. This 57 is a feminine birth number. I've done decodes on this in the past. But also, like I said, let me just type in childbirth so you guys can see how this is connected. See how childbirth equals 57 and 177, just like Rihanna had her baby 177 days after Super Bowl 57, and childbirth equals 57 and 177. And again, that was Super Bowl 57 that she was at. And she had her baby in her belly at that Super Bowl that was born at the beginning of these Maui fires. And like I told you guys, her first kid came out of her the same day the Firestarter movie came out. I mean, what's the chances of that? So anyways, now I'm going to make a connection to the star of the most recent Firestarter movie. So let's pull him up. His name is Zac Efron. Okay. Zac Efron was the star of the most recent Firestarter movie that came out on May 13th, 2022. And obviously most people know who this is, Zac Efron. But if you measure from his birthday, his last birthday, to the beginning of the fires in Maui, it's 294 days. Now, why is this important, guys? 294 days. Well, that's because if you go to the to the dates, okay, Rihanna, or sorry, not Rihanna, but the girl who plays in that movie. So again, Zac Efron was the dad of the girl in the Firestarter movie, and the fire started 294 days after his birthday. And the girl, let me pull her up so you guys are not lost about who I'm talking about. So the girl who plays the Firestarter weapon in the Firestarter movie was born on March 12th. That means she was born on the day leaving 294 days left in the year, kind of like the fire started 294 after Zac Efron's birthday. And again, Zac Efron starred in the same movie with her, Firestarter. Okay, so this girl's name is Ryan Kiera Armstrong, and Zac Efron plays her father in the movie. And again, she was born on the day leaving 294 days left in the year. And look at this, guys. I already connected this to Skull and Bones a couple of times, but the girl who plays Firestarter in the movie, the fire started 149 days after her birthday. Well, why is that important, guys? Because Skull and Bones equals 149, And the fires start 149 days after her birthday, the Firestarter. Like skull and bones, like death, right? The brotherhood of death. Also, I want you guys to notice that the day the fire started was the 220th day of the year, kind of like Rihanna's birthday is on 2/20. Also, if you type in the brotherhood of death, it equals 2/20, kind of like the fires started on 2/20 day of the year. Okay. And again, 149 days after the Firestarter girl's birthday, Skull and Bones, 149. Skull and Bones is the brotherhood of death. Okay. Now I want to talk more about this 294 number because this connects to Kamala Harris. This is all about a feminine energy. I told you on 8-9 and 8-8, we had all these clues for Kamala Harris replacing Joe Biden. And there's been so many clues for this. But what I want you to notice is that the girl who plays Firestarter, she was born on the 294th day of the year. Now, Kamala Harris was born on 10/20, and that means this girl was born 222 days before Kamala Harris. Why is that important? Well, because Vice President Harris equals 222. And this girl was born 222 days before Kamala Harris. Not only was she born 222 days, Kamala Harris was born in a leap year. Okay, she was born in 1964. So in reality, Kamala Harris was born on the 294th day of the year. Okay, so the girl who plays Firestarter was born on the 294 days left in the year, and Kamala Harris was born on the 294th day of the year because she was born in a leap year. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's just measure here. Let's measure from the girl's actual birthday, March 12, 2010, to Kamala Harris's birthday. Very interesting. Let's see if this is a prime number. No, but I got to look more into that, guys. But all I'm saying is that Kamala Harris was born on the opposite day in the calendar as the girl who plays Firestarter, Kiara Ryan Armstrong. Okay. And remember, Rihanna just had a baby girl on the day these fires started. And if you guys missed that, go back and watch why I connected all that. Okay. So just so you guys can remember, it says the queen has given birth, and this time it's a girl, and she's a spitting image of Rihanna. Okay. And I believe this once again represents the birthing of the first female president, Kamala Harris. And what follows her presidency, whenever she takes office, guys, after that, I believe is going to be very interesting times. Okay. But again, Rihanna could have a lot of connections to Kamala. I have to look into that. But at any rate, what's the chances that the girl who plays Firestarter was born on 294 days left, Kamala Harris born on 294 days of the year, and the guy who stars in the movie Firestarter, the fire started 294 days after his birthday. This is Kamala Harris's birthday, born on the 294 day of the year. Also notice that from Zac Efron's last birthday to the fire starting was 9 months and 21 days, kind of like Stephen King's birthday was 9/21. And remember, Zac Efron starred in the movie about the book that Stephen King wrote. Okay. So I think I covered almost everything. Let me check the Gematria and see if I missed anything. So again, guys, the big thing here. Okay, I wanted to cover one more thing here. The number 235. So I told you guys that the main character in the Firestarter movie, her name is Charlie McGee. Okay, Charlie McGee is the weapon, the girl who is the weapon who starts fires in the movie. That's her name. And I told you that I'm comparing her to directed energy weapons, or DEWs. And if you take the words directed energy weapons, you're going to get 235, kind of like the girl who plays the weapon in the Firestarter movie also equals 235, her name in the movie. So they're telling us very clearly that she represents these weapons, because again, the Gematria tells us that 235, just like directed energy weapons, the DEWs, the Mountain Dews. Okay. And again, guys, this all starts with the god of in Hawaiian mythology who brings fire to the world. I mean, what's the chances of that? And he brings fire because of a goddess. Okay. And this all goes back to Kamala and to Rihanna, because, you know, this is what they represent. It's all about the feminine here. Okay. And remember, we're in the time of Sirius. Last night in my community section, I shared with you that Sirius equals 95. Let me just simplify this for a minute. So Sirius equals 95, kind of like MAUI, Hawaii equals 95, and kind of like the Queen equals 95. And remember, in this article, they called Rihanna the Queen. And the Queen just died. And supposedly, Rihanna could have had her baby on 8/9. When did the Queen die? The Queen died last year on September 8th, which could also be written 8/9. And now you have the Queen, Rihanna, giving birth to a baby girl on 8/9. And again, the Queen equals 95, like Maui, Hawaii, like Sirius. And Sirius is based off of the goddess, the Egyptian goddess Sopdet. So it's all going back to goddesses. This is all connecting to the woman. And, you know, I mean, that's why I believe that before we have any other thing, I believe the woman president needs to happen, because the woman is the one that comes in on the beast in Revelation. The woman brings the beast, essentially. Okay. And I keep seeing all this woman symbolism, especially with Rihanna and with Doja Cat and with Kamala Harris and with the Queen, all these things. So anyways, guys, I think that's all I want to say here. I'm going to jump in the chat and see what you guys are saying in there. Welcome, Chris. Nice to see you in the chat, bud. Yeah, and Chris in the chat, he makes a very good point. Oh, and this is what I forgot to cover. Thanks for reminding me, Chris. So one of the biggest stories to come out of Hawaii recently was this guy named Iam Tongi. Okay. And I want you guys to look at this guy's name. His name is actually William, but they call him Iam, or I am. So this Hawaiian guy, let me bring up images of him. This Hawaiian guy just won American Idol. And he was the youngest ever to win. And his name is I Am. And what does this remind you of, guys? Well, let's take a stroll down the biblical narrative. And let's type in I am that I am. So this Hawaiian guy, I am Tongi. He just won American Idol, right? Just months before the fires in Hawaii. And the biblical story of I am that I am, which is God's answer, okay? This is is the first of 3 responses given to Moses from God. And what is God in the form of when he answers this and says, I am that I am? Okay. Well, he is, let me see if I can find it, guys. You guys know the story, right? Moses is encountering the burning bush. Okay, do you guys get the symbolism here? The burning bush. And out of the burning bush, God says, I am that I am. And recently, Hawaii had a guy named Iam win American Idol. And then a few months later, Maui, Hawaii, his home state, is on fire. Kind of like God was on fire. He was speaking through the burning bush. And now Maui is burning. Okay. Also, guys, I want you guys to see this connection to the 95. I am that I am. If you go into the reverse cipher. Oh, sorry, guys. I misspelled it. I am that I am. Okay, hold on. Notice that I am that I am equals 95, like the Queen, like Maui, Hawaii, and like Sirius. And again, it is the Hawaiian Iam Tongi who wins American Idol right before the fires in Hawaii. So this is a reference to the burning bush. They were telling us before it even happened. The burning bush was represented by this man because God speaks I am out of the burning bush. Okay. And what are the chances that I am that I am equals 95, like Maui, Hawaii, like Sirius, and like the Queen? And again, the Queen is Rihanna, or in this article, she's referred to as the Queen. Okay. And in Egyptian, I told you guys, in Egypt, the dog star Sirius is represented by a female figure, a goddess, not a male, a goddess. Okay. So again, I believe this represents the woman in the book of Revelation that's riding the beast. So anyways, I just think that was an interesting connection that this guy just happened to win American Idol this year. Okay. And yeah, again, he's from Hawaii. So, but the story that they tell about this guy is that the story they tell about this Iam Tongi of Hawaii is he had to leave Hawaii because it was too expensive. And he moved to Seattle, which is also an interesting thing, but I won't get into that here. But anyways, guys, I think that's everything now. Thanks for reminding me of that, Chris, to bring up the Iam Tongi, because Iam Tongi is connected to the burning bush and the I am that I am. Oh, Chris, you're saying that the fire started 95 days from the king's birthday. Really? Let me check that. I think that's what you're saying. So if we go from the king's birthday is 11/14. Oh, I guess today is August 11th was 95 days before the king's birthday. And August 11th was also the day that we had these fires in the news. So yeah. But interesting that it's 95 days. Now remember, guys, there's a huge connection between the number 666 and 95. I'm going to show you that here. Because if you go 666 days, let me just go back 666 days. I'll show you. Anytime you're on the calendar and you measure 666 days, you're going to get 95 weeks. Okay. So I just showed you all the 95s, and this number is connected on the calendar because anytime you measure the 666 days, you're going to get 95 weeks. Okay. That's the number that I was just showing you. It's the big number. And don't forget, the Jesuits, the Catholic Church, do you remember when Martin Luther had the 95 Theses and he led the Protestant Reformation with the 95 Theses? Do you remember when Martin Luther King was assassinated on the 95th day of the year? So the 95 seems to be a very big number, guys. I mean, Again, this is the number that they say that Martin Luther, the 95 Theses, right? And of course, Martin Luther had the 95 Theses, like Martin Luther King was assassinated on the 95th day of the year. So I'll show you guys. Martin Luther King was assassinated on 4/4. Well, actually, I think what year was he assassinated? In 60? I think he was assassinated in a leap year. That's why. I'm not sure what in 68, right? So 68, he was assassinated. Martin Luther King on the 95th day of the year. Normally, that's not the 95th day of the year. In a leap year, it is the 95th day. Okay. What's interesting, guys, is we're almost 666 months away from Martin Luther King's. Right now, we're in the 664th month since Martin Luther King was assassinated. So what happens, we'll see if it gets interesting when we get to the 666th month. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that connection to 95. And look at this, guys. Not only was he assassinated on the 95th day of the year, he was assassinated on the day leaving 90, or on the day with 95 date numerology. 4 + 4 + 19 + 68, 95. So yeah, big number, 95. That reminds me, though, an interesting day this year could be September 5th, which could be written 95. So watch out for that day. Also, guys, like in my last video, I pointed out that something could be going on with Biden on these days on 8/29, 8/30, or 8/31. Watch these days for Biden and Kamala. And then if that doesn't come through, I have a bunch of dates in September that I want to share with you guys, but we're going to wait till September before I share these dates, okay? So yeah, let me jump back into the chat. Thanks you guys for coming along for the ride today and listening. Again, if you guys missed the beginning of this decode, please go back and watch all the crazy connections between Rihanna and the fires in Maui and the movie called Firestarter. So thanks again, Chris, for coming and giving good information. Kevin, welcome to the chat also. Kevin O'Brien says weather modification. Yes. Remember, they blame these fires on Hurricane Dora, and the winds from Hurricane Dora supposedly made these fires blow even harder, right? Again, I already told you what I believe this actually was. But again, guys, if you mix this weather modification with this windy weather, and you start these weapons, these dews, and you start fires, and then you use the wind to give them more energy, it's just like people in the news said, the fire came so fast and so hard that people didn't even have time to react. So what's to say they can't do this anywhere they want? They're experimenting it. And of course they're experimenting this stuff on an island, guys. On an island where people really can't go anywhere. Okay? I feel like these people love to experiment on islands. Just go back to last year. Go back to last year in Sri Lanka. All the craziness that happened on that island. Islands are a perfect place for them to experiment with these crazy rituals because people can't escape islands so easy. They have to book a flight. You can't drive off the island. So if you live on an island, I've been to Hawaii. It's a beautiful place. I spent like a month there living on a beach in Hawaii. I wasn't on Maui. I was on Kauai. But Hawaii is a beautiful place. However, when you're on that island, you can't go anywhere. And so now all these people are stuck on this island, and probably the only food and restaurants that were there are burnt up. So all these people are going to have food shortages. Of course, they're going to have FEMA come in, and they're going to have FEMA come in and save the day, right? This is what FEMA's created for, guys. They're going to come in, they're going to save the day and look like the heroes. But we know that these people love the order out of chaos, right? Create a chaos and then bring in the order. And that's what FEMA is. So, of course, they're going to bring FEMA in. And again, guys, I do want to point out FEMA. If you look that up, the gematria of FEMA is interesting. If you type in the whole name of FEMA, which is Federal Emergency Management Agency, you're going to get a number that I talked about earlier in the decode, which is 294. Now, remember, I told you that the girl who plays in the movie Firestarter, who plays the character, the Firestarter, she's born on the actual actress was born on the day leaving 294 days in the year, kind of like Kamala Harris is born on the 294th day of the year in 1964. And what does FEMA equal? Well, FEMA equals 294. And another word that equals 294 is the Catholic Church. And it equals that in the reverse cipher. So the Catholic Church, 294. Federal Emergency Management Agency, 294. Kamala Harris born on the 294th day of the year. Okay. And remember, guys, a few years ago, Hawaii had an emergency FEMA. Let me go back and search that. Hawaii false alarm, I believe. Okay, so yeah, it says on January 13th, 2018, an alert was accidentally issued via the emergency alert system of a ballistic missile that was going to hit Hawaii. So everyone was freaked out. Okay. So how about this, guys? Let's measure from the day of that false alarm, that missile, to the day of the fire starting, because we might get something interesting. So it's that emergency thing was sent out on January 13th. And to the day the fires started, it was 66 months. Okay, 66 months. Oh, you know what, guys? Look at this. 290 weeks and 4 days. What number was I just talking about? 290 weeks and 4 days. What number is that if you drop the zero? It's 294. I just told you that Federal Emergency Management Agency equals 294 and the Catholic Church 294. So very interesting that we get the measurement of 294 from the emergency alert on Hawaii to the day the fire started on Hawaii. Definitely interesting. Also, something I noticed is the 234 days. I believe Central Intelligence Agency equals 234. Hold on, let me check that. Sorry, guys. Central Intelligence Agency equals 432 and 243, not 234. But there's something interesting with this number in Central Intelligence, because notice that they have the 243 and the 432. So that's interesting. Anyways, is there anyone that has any extra additions to this? Welcome, Joyce, to the chat. Nice to see you. So let me see, guys. Hold on a second. Anyone else have anything to add here? Yeah, Paradise Lost by John Milton. That would be interesting to look into. Yeah, good catch. Firestarter, the movie, was 1 hour and 14 minutes long, which is 74 minutes, kind of like Lucifer 74. We know how big the number 74 is. Yeah, Chris, it's got the 117, yeah. You know what I didn't look into, guys, was that movie, that Hawaiian Pacific Islander movie. Wasn't it called like Moana or something like that? And remember, right now, the Pacific Islanders are big, guys, because the current WWE champion of the WWE and his cousins, the bloodline, are all Pacific Islanders. They're all Polynesian, just like the Hawaiian area is also considered Polynesian and, that type of area. And it is Elvis week. You're right. This is tied to Elvis, guys. I mean, Elvis, he had that show called Blue Hawaii, remember? And he loved Hawaii, Elvis did. And these fires started on 8/8 while Elvis was 88 years old. If he was still alive, Elvis would be 88, and the fires started in Hawaii on 8/8. So anyway, this movie, guys, is something I didn't look into. I didn't have time to research this before the stream. But this was a movie where the god Maui was played by Dwayne Johnson. Okay, of course, another wrestler. You guys know that wrestling is so big because there's so much symbolism in there. I just told you that the current champion is a Samoan, and one of the most famous wrestlers of all time is also connected to the Samoan family, the bloodline. And Dwayne Johnson is the one who played Maui. Okay, Dwayne Johnson played Maui in the movie Moana. Let's see what Moana equals. Hold on a second. Oh, look at that, guys. Moana equals Maui. Okay, look at that. You take out the one cipher, Moana, 44, 17, and 28, like Maui. And in that movie, Dwayne Johnson plays Maui. So when did that movie come out? Sorry, guys, I'm just doing research on the fly here. Thanks, you guys, for giving all this this great info so I can follow this. So, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. I need to find, when did this movie come out? Moana came out in 2016. It was 107 minutes long, which is interesting because Moana is 28 and the 28th prime is 107, and the movie was 107 long, like Moana equals 28, which is the 107 is the 28th prime. It came out on the king's birthday. Look at that. Let me type this in. November 14th. November 14th, 2016 to 8/8, 2023. So that was the first release date. I don't see anything really major there so far. Oh, the 364th prime number. But let's go to the second release date, which was the 23rd. 2449 days after Moana. Interesting. Like I said, sometimes it takes more digging to find these connections, guys. But again, this movie was starring Dwayne Johnson, who plays Maui, and then I'm sure there's a connection here. If anyone sees anything, let me know. Yeah, good find, Eve in the chat. If you type in 666, it equals 294. Let me bring that up. So I've just been making all connections to this number. But if you type in 666, if I can spell right, 666 equals 294. Kind of like the Catholic Church, kind of like Federal Emergency Management Agency. So again, another 294 connection. Joyce is asking, what are the map coordinates for Maui. Well, let me look. I forgot to put in the name Lahaina, guys. Lahaina is the city that burned up. But Lahaina also equals 44 and 28, kind of like Moana and Maui, okay? So the city that burned up was Lahaina, and Lahaina equals 44. Maui equals 44. And the name of the movie that Dwayne Johnson played in and I was showing you, Moana, also equals 44. Okay? And remember that 44 is also kill. Okay? In fact, Maui and Kill have a super match. So they're now reporting that there's 80 deaths officially, which is interesting because I just had an 80 come up. Didn't I just measure that was an 80? Yeah, so it's been 80 months. It's been 80 months since the Moana movie came out, and now they're saying that there's 80 people dead. I'm sure that number will probably go up. But all these numbers have been given out by the code. So Maui, let's see. I'm looking this up, guys, because in the chat, Joyce asked what the coordinates are. So the coordinates for Maui are 20 degrees north and 156 degrees west. 156, 9/11 is the 156 prime number. Is there a connection to Pearl Harbor? Well, yeah, I believe there is. Why do I believe that? Well, because first of all, I haven't looked into a direct connection to Pearl Harbor, but let me tell you what I know is connected here. So Pearl Harbor obviously happened in Hawaii as well, and that started World War II for the United States. But you guys will remember that what ended the war was the United States dropping the bomb on Japan, okay? Nagasaki, Hiroshima. Now, this thing in Hawaii was happening the same days that the bombs were dropped that ended World War II. So do you guys see the symbolism here? Hawaii was the key point, the key state that got America involved in World War II. Okay? And now Hawaii, and then what happens is what ended World War II, Japan attacks Hawaii, right, on Pearl Harbor. And then the United States drops a bomb on Japan. And that happened on the 8/9/1945. Well, what was in the news on the 78th anniversary of the dropping of the bomb? Well, you had a fire in Hawaii. So it's obviously connected, guys. What a ritual for them to put Hawaii on fire on the anniversary of the bombing of Japan. Because again, these things are intricately connected because Japan was the one that attacked Hawaii to begin with. And I believe that this fire in Hawaii is kind of symbolic for Japan getting the United States back for what it did. Now, what's interesting about this is that Joe Biden is meeting Let me see if I can find it, guys. Joe Biden meeting the Japanese and also, guys, don't forget that the G7 this year was held in Hiroshima, right? Which again was where the bomb was dropped. And Remember, we just had the Oppenheimer movie come out, and Oppenheimer was the father of the atomic bomb. And Christy Cherry, no, I'm not deleting any links. I think YouTube might delete links automatically in the chat. I don't know, but I'm not deleting any links. If you can't share a link in the chat, it's because they're not letting you. But if you want to share the link, just type the link in, but don't add the .com or anything, and I'll just type I'll just type the actual link. Like just give me the name of the site, but don't add the www, because that'll make it be a link. And I think they try to censor that in the chat. I don't know how to turn that off, or if I can turn that off or not. So anyways, back to what I was saying. In a couple days, guys, on the 18th, Joe Biden is meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister. Yeah, here it is, guys. So what's the chances that just after these fires in Hawaii, on August 18th summit, you're going to have Japan, South Korea, and Biden meeting? Now, remember, I've already connected this. I've done connections with these two men before this year. Do you remember when I made a video about this South Korean president was at the White House on April 26th? And he sang the song American Pie to Biden. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. I drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. So now Biden is meeting both of these Asian prime ministers, the Japanese prime minister, Fumio Kishida, and the Korean president. I don't remember his name. But remember, the governor of Maui, he was on vacation when these fires started, and the acting the acting governor while the fire started was a girl from South Korea. So what are the chances that Biden's meeting the Japanese and South Korean presidents next week on 18/8, like 188, and let me make. Hold on, Christy Cherry. I think I might have missed your chat. But anyways, guys, you understand what I'm getting at here. What is the chances that Biden's meeting with these two Asian prime ministers or presidents next week? I hope you guys get what I mean by this, because again, Pearl Harbor is connected to Japan and Hawaii is connected to Pearl Harbor. Yeah, Chris Holdings, he's singing this lyrics of American Pie in the chat. But yeah, I mean, the American Pie thing was huge. As a matter of fact, I believe I showed you guys in a prior video before 8/8 and 8/9 even came, that the prime minister of South Korea. Let me bring that up for you guys so you can see. So the prime minister or the president of South Korea, whatever he is. Oh, look at this, guys. He was at the White House on the 249 day of the year, which is kind of similar to the 294 I've been talking about this whole decode. But he was at the White House and he was singing the song American Pie to Biden. Okay? And he was singing that on this day, 4/26. And 3.14, like pi, 3 months and 14 days later was August 9th. And what happened on August 9th? Well, we had the fires. Okay. So 303 months and 14 days after the Korean prime minister sings American Pie to Biden, and now America's 50th state is on fire the 3 months and 14 days later. Christy Cherry, you want me to look up Mountain Dew, Maui? Yeah. I don't know if you were around for the beginning of the video, but I brought up the I had brought up the Mountain Dew Maui Blast or Maui Burst. That's what it's called. Yeah, so it's called Mountain Dew Maui Burst. And what happens with flames, guys? Okay, I'm going to give you a wrench, Christy Cherry. I know that I usually see you, so I'll give you a wrench. Um yeah, I just know that Mountain Dew equals Firestarter, just like the movie I talked about in the beginning of this decode. And Mountain Dew also equals Freemasonry. And Mountain Dew also equals the name of Rihanna's baby boy, who was born on the same day the Firestarter movie came out. So yeah, this Mountain Dew, I mean, what mockery, guys. What is the chances that they have a Mountain Dew Maui Burst? And of course, I already told you that directed energy weapons is dew, right? And this is what the fires, this is what I believe started the fires. And just go look up the Wikipedia. These things are things they actually use, guys. And who knows what kind of stuff they're actually got out there. Yeah, so Christy Cherry just posted the link Mountain Dew fandom in the chat, so you guys can check that out. Thank you. Anyways, guys, is there anything else? You guys are doing amazing in adding stuff to this decode. You guys are making it much more complete. Let's see. And yeah, I can see you in the chat posting Drew Barrymore. Yeah, very interesting how Drew Barrymore is the one who played the original girl in 1984 that is the weapon that starts fires. And that's one letter off from like Dew, like DEW. Drew is just adding an R to it. I don't drink soda, guys, so I don't even remember what half these companies are. I don't drink any type of soda. I haven't drank any soda for years. That stuff is, especially the dark sodas, that stuff got so much phosphorus in it, it'll rot your teeth so fast. The phosphorus is horrible for the bones too. That's why I feel like a lot of people get bone problems. But that's just my opinion on it. I don't drink much soda. Now here in Germany, they have something called a Spezi, which is kind of like it's still got like the dark soda, but it's a little less. It's not nearly as bad as Pepsi or Coca-Cola. You know, here in Germany, guys, they drink a lot of bubbly water, sparkling water. As a matter of fact, that's all they drink here. I've gotten so used to drinking sparkly water now. It's funny. Oh, okay. Yeah, Christy Cherry, let me hold on. Let me try to pull up that link that you posted. Sorry, guys, my computer's not working very well right now. Let's see here. I absolutely need a new computer, guys. I'm trying to find that link that she posted. Yeah, but I can't click on it for some reason. Let's see. Mountain Dew fandom, Maui Burst. Hold on, let me just type that in. So Mountain Dew fandom Maui burst. Let's see what numbers you're talking about here in this article. Notice that it's a pineapple flavor. There's just a lot of information, a lot of numbers in here for sure. Flavor 286. Christy Cherry, what exactly are you seeing? What number are you seeing here? I might be missing it. But yeah, guys, I mean, this is so important for people to see, you know, this Mountain Dew Maui burst. I mean, because what happens when a fire starts? It bursts into flames, right? It's perfect symbolism. Yeah, and there's been, you guys remember earlier this year when the fires started in Canada, and then New York City looked like hell on earth also. What's funny about New York and Hawaii both having fires in the same year, because in Gematria, we know that Hawaii and New York both have similar Gematria. If my computer would work, I could show you, but it's not working good right now. Huh. Oh, I'm getting so tired of this computer, guys. So what happens is I can't even move the cursor and I can't click anything. But like I was going to show you guys that in Gematria, Hawaii equals 111, okay? And New York equals 111. As a matter of fact, New York and Hawaii have the 111 and the 33. And you'll notice that this year, there's been two places in the United States that really looked like hell on earth, and that was Hawaii and New York City. Remember when that was happening? I forget when that was. Yeah, thank you, Christy. I'll look more into the numbers and see if I can see anything. You know, there was other people sharing this Maui burst also. Joseph Aquaviva did a short video on the Maui burst. Also, Donut, his channel. Donut did a video on the Maui burst, the flavor. Yeah, and if you guys missed the beginning of this, go back and watch the connection to Rihanna. Yeah, that's correct. Hawaii is the 808 area code. And the fire started on 8/8. Don't forget that Trump also equals 88, and Trump was all over the news right before these fires. Remember when Trump was in Montgomery, the 44th president's birthday, and then Maui starts burning, and Barack was born in Hawaii, and he was the 44th president, and Maui equals 44. See, this is connected to Obama too, right? Because Obama was the 44th president. He was born supposedly in Hawaii, and Maui, the island this fire was on, equals 44, like he was the 44th president. And don't forget, you know, all the other 44s that I said. The city that burnt down was Lahaina, which also equals 44. Yeah, that's a good observation. Donald Trump, known as the Orange Man, and fires kind of oranges. Yeah, guys, I don't know if I'm going to make the video much longer, but I do want to say, guys, if you guys would hit the like button. Right now, I'm only seeing 5 likes. Let's see if we can get the likes to like 45, because there's 45 of you in here. See if we can get to 45 likes. And thank you guys for supporting the channel always. You know, thanks for supporting the channel and hitting the like button and also all the things that you guys do, providing information, because again, a lot of times the information that you guys give me goes into these decodes. So this is not just my channel. This is a channel for everyone to provide information and get the information out. Also, here's a link to I just left a link in the chat. This is my Buy Me a Coffee. This is how you support the channel, by hitting the like and by going to the Buy Me a Coffee, or you can also do super chats on here. But YouTube takes too much money, guys. I don't like to give YouTube too much money, because that's Google, and you know how they are. So yeah, if anyone has anything else to add, I'll wait another minute and then I'll jump off, because it's probably been about an hour I've been on here. Yeah, Chris, I did notice that today was the 224 day of the year and the 141 days remaining, which both those numbers are hugely tied to war. Remember, the Ukraine war started on 224 and World War equals 141. So I'm surprised we didn't see any big war narratives today. Or did we? I haven't checked CNN. But I'll check CNN after I get off here. Of course, if I find anything, I'll make a video for you guys tomorrow. Yeah, that's a good point. If you spell the word Maui backwards, it's I-U-am. Yeah, very good point. Kind of like Iam Tongi just won the American Idol, and he's from Hawaii. Yeah, what's pineapple equal? Because the Maui Burst, the Maui Mountain Dew Burst is a pineapple flavor. Well, pineapple equals 149, like Skull and Bones. Yeah, so if you type in pineapple and Skull and Bones, which I already tied Skull and Bones to this a lot already earlier in the video, but notice that pineapple equals 149 and 41, like Skull and Bones. Yeah, and as far as the American Idol winner, Iam Tongi, who spells his name I-am, his last name Tongi means fertilizer. I looked into that. And you know, after these fires, they're going to need a lot of fertilizer to rebuild, right? To regrow. So I think that's why the symbolism with his last name. If you look into it, his name means fertilizer. Yeah, I just remember I looked into that. Anyways, guys, I'm going to jump off. I've probably been on here for about an hour. Thanks again for always coming by and watching my video. I appreciate all of you guys. Have a good evening, Chris. Thank you for stopping by. Coincidence Theorist, Eva Dom, Mojave, Arca Toros. I don't know how to say your first. I always mess up you guys' names. Angela, thank you for stopping by. Joyce, Christy, Chris. Thank you guys all for stopping by. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Maybe one more video before I leave for Albania. Then I got to get settled in there. So anyways, take care, guys. Hit the like before you leave if you would, and then we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.